What up, loved ones? What it do? Spotty Young right here. You know where I'm from. Thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. If you're new to this channel right here, just hit the subscribe button real quick and give it a like if you think it's cool, if you think it's real, you know what I mean? Right now, in this episode, I'm going to share my experience doing time with the Thai homies and the La homies. But before I forget real quick, man, I want to do a shout out to Count Time, the Cambodian homie from Denver, Colorado. He got a YouTube channel called Count Time. And I forgot to shout him out my last episode, my Cambodian episode. So there you go, check him out. Right now, I'm talking about the Thai and the La homies. So let's go all the way back to Silmar Juvenile Hall, 2003. My boy $4 from Suicide of Time crib. He was half Thai, he was half Lao. And when I first got there, man, we was cool, man. Even though he was a Crip and he was hanging out with the blacks, and I'm from Barrio Jeffrocks, so I was hanging out. I tend to hang out more with the Mexicans. It was just like that, you know. There was only Mexicans and blacks that has the dominant numbers in there. But you know, I was getting down with blacks, man. They would call me out, and this fool, $4, he was getting down with fucking the Mexicans. One time, he was Southside dude went to his cell, to his room in juvenile hall. We call it room. We didn't call it cell yet. So he goes over there, shakes $4's hand with the left hand, and then $4 shakes his hand with his left hand. And then Southside dude swang at him with the right hand as soon as they shook hands with the left. And then $4, I saw $4 fucking just duck that shit, man, and then hit him with the right hand, man. That shit was funny as fuck. But yeah, man, it was crazy because when I first got there, man, I was taking the way I was taking the shit. I would put my fucking foot on the toilet because I was fresh off the streets. That's how I was taking the shit on the streets. It was funny. That nigga fucking $4 was like, hey, dog, don't be doing that shit right here, man. We in jail, homie. But I feel you, though, because my uncle, that's how he take a shit, you know. So, yeah, man, that shit was funny. But it was all good, man. Even though I was rushing, I was taking off on the ABZ. I mean, it is what it is, you know. We were all kids. We were gang banging and shit. And there were some ABZs that was out there. And they said, oh, the homie with the woo woo is gonna come over here soon. What you finna do? What you finna do? You know what I mean? But yeah, he's the G homie. He's cool, man. He used to sing, I'm locked up, they won't let me out. And that shit began stuck on my head. Like, everybody was singing that shit during that time, you know. So, fast forward later on in CYA, it's a whole different world. This was the prison for little kids. It was all gang banging, but everybody was going home. But it was all gang banging and shit. There's still stabbings, people still dying there, but everybody had a date. Everybody would mandatory get out when they're 25, even though you got juvenile life. And that's when I met the Lao homie named Dizzy from Oriental Boy Soldiers, San Diego. He was just he was a little guy, but shit, you know. He was getting down with fucking motherfuckers 3 times his size, man. And like I said, the homeboy got hard, you know. But I didn't really like, during that time, I was still set tripping on my own peoples, on my Asian. I still look at them as my enemy. I still had the street mentality. So I wasn't really as close with everybody else, but we were so short in numbers that we had to stick together. You know what I mean? So after CYA, I turned 18. I go to prison. I met more Thai homies and Lao homies, man. I even had a celly, Lao celly from Stockton AG. Shout out to you. You know who you are, man. His wife was Pinay, and they had a baby together. It was my celly. We were cool. We were chopping it up. He did a dragon tattoo on my thigh and shit, man. You know. And what do you call this? If you're watching this, man, go hit me up, bro. You know who you are. Yeah, it was cool. And then after that, Oh, in Calipat also, my boy Puppet from Suey's, Suey's out of town crib. This was $4 big homie, man, Puppet. And me and Puppet ended up becoming hella fucking cool because at school, we used to go to school together in the fucking cable technician thing. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, dog, we was fucking slamming, was fucking around. Mind you, not all the Asian Islanders was fucking around. Only a handful. And we're the ones that can relate to each other, man. I could relate to them because a lot of they got all day. A lot of homies they got all day, and that was the best thing they could do. Sometimes it's party, sometimes drink or something that makes them escape reality, man. I feel for them. I feel for the lifer homies, you know, because I was in the level 4 for a long time, almost 10 years, man. Damn near fucking 10 years in the level 4. So many lifers in there. And yeah, if I have something, man, I'll look out. You know, I don't expect him to look out back because the homie didn't have that much. But that was the G homie, man, and I was just hella close with him. Especially, he was just keeping it real with me and shit. One time he came to school. He got 2 black eyes. Hey, what happened, dog? Old boy talking about. He got into it with his Tongan Sally and shit. Tamasi Sally was fucking. He was maxing the shit. He was maxing the shit in the cell. And he said, "Damn fool, I wish that shit would stop, man." You know. I told him, "What's up? What you want to do?" Like, it's all good. It's just in the cell. This whatever in the cell stays in the cell unless they stab each other, they use a weapon, and that's gonna be a big issue in the yard. It's gonna be a racial thing, but it was all good. You know, it is what it is. So, how I really became close to my boy Puppet, man, was that well, besides us going to school together, being productive, working out at the same time, party a little bit here and there. Having similar culture from the streets and whatnot and whatever. One time, Paisa owed me some money, and he was playing with my money. He didn't want to pay me. In prison, if you don't want to pay somebody, that's pretty much it's the same thing as you're punking them, you know. So I feel like I was getting punked, so I had no choice but to do something about it because when somebody's not paying your money, they're punking you pretty much. So on that specific day, I came out to the yard with a strap, and I showed Puppet. Then I told Puppet, like, I'm in some shit right now, dog. You know, I'm about to go talk to these fools, man. If they tell me that, fuck you, I'm not gonna pay your money, man, I'm gonna bust a grape, dog. I'm out of here, man. And then without hesitation, man, Puppet said, fuck it, let's go, dog. And that shit made me feel fucking like, damn, fool. Not all the homies will do the same, man. They don't feel the same way. But this was a righteous call. It wasn't no whatever fucking bullshit, you know. So I just became more and more close to Puppet, man, Big Pup, man, you know. And fast forward, he was telling me some stories about the LA County because during the 90s, when the MA had put the green light on the TRGs, the Long Beach TRGs, in the 90s, he was there because they ended up just fucking taking off on all the Asians. All the essays was taken off on all the Asians on site, from what I heard. And he was telling me all about it. He said it was all bad, man. He was there during that time. It was all bad for him and shit. You know, he was getting jumped, whatever, everything and shit. Speared, you know. But he was telling me also around 2002 and up, some of the homeboys, some of the Asians, they had some juice with the sheriffs, and they fucking told him, like, look, man, let us fight with them, man. Let us fight with the South Side. Go set it up. And the sheriff agreed, and all right, well, let's make it a little bit fair. Go bring some of your best fighters from the south side, and then they would bring some of the best fighters from the Asians, and they would let them fucking fight, no stabbing. And they were doing that, man. They were doing that legally because the police watching, and but it was just an ongoing beef. But eventually it died off. I don't know about now. I'm not up to date with all that. But this was just back in the days. This was just what the Lao homie was telling me and shit. Puppet from the Suez and shit. So fast forward later on, I go to I finally made it to a level 3 after all those years and years and years in the level 4. Finally made it to a level 3, and I ended up going to a California out of state program called COCF, California out of state. So I ended up going to Oklahoma. This is when they were sending a bunch of California inmates out of state to try to lessen up the numbers because California was overpopulated. And actually, the people that went to the out of state program were enjoying it, were having fun, because that was fucking Disneyland compared to the time that you were doing in California. California, you were doing real time. When I got there, everything was a joke. That was the closest thing to freedom, because it was just the trip, man. The cell was so fucking big. Like I said, you can break dance in that motherfucker and shit. So much freedom, so many yards. They have workout equipment, working out, basketball, so much yards, so much freedom, man. And then in the cell, they have Xbox 360, PlayStation, whatever you want. And then they were getting everything. There's a lot of dope. They got phones in their phones. You can talk to your people, your family in the streets. It was a joke, man. The time was just fucking flowing by quick, man. But unfortunately, unfortunately, we were in Gulf Bravo, and then on Gulf Alpha, something happened. 2 black dudes beat up on a Lao Asian guy, little Lao Asian guy by himself in the fucking bathroom, in the shower room. That's a no-go in the California prison politics. You can't put hands on a different race. But people are so comfortable in that place because they don't know any better. They never been to a California prison, so they think everything is a joke also. So they did what they did, and what's supposed to happen is the blacks that knows better, that knows about the California politics, were supposed to take care of the blacks, but we gave them a day. It didn't happen. Long story short, we had no choice but to bust a grape, because the Lao Asian homie, he was there by himself. And here on our side, the Gulf Bravo, because he was in Gulf Alpha, we in Gulf Bravo, there was like at least 8 or 9 of us Asians, so we could do something. And there was another Pinoy over there. There's another pare from the Bay, from the Yay. Yeah, man, he was also fresh from the streets, fresh from the county. He never been to a California prison also. And when he got there in Oklahoma, Disneyland, he was telling me like, "Hey, pare, man, that's a loud thing, man. Don't fucking, what you mean? What you mean that's a loud thing? That's a everything thing. That's all, man. Watch what you fucking say, dog." And but later on, he understood what I was talking about, because he had no choice but to understand, because he has a lot of time to do, and he's gonna run into a lot of crazy shit in the future, So I had to tell him this is how it works. Even if it was the Pinoy guy that got beat up by 2 blacks, I'm gonna tell my best friend, sing "Hey Lao D," like, "Hey dog, we gotta go." You're not gonna tell me, "Oh nah, that's your problem. That's just a Pinoy problem." Nah, that's not how the California prison is, And the problem was, Lao D was Kung Fu Master Lao D. It was butthurt, man. He was really butthurt, because when he came to Oklahoma, all his Lao homies that was already in there, situated, living the best years in their life, the good life, super comfortable. They all claim to be super level 4 hardcore gangsters. Everybody claims that. But when shit gets real and people had to go, they were the first ones to procrastinate and say, let's wait, you know, because it happens to to all of us, to the best of us, man. A lot of comfortable things, they make us weak, you know. We forget about the principle, we forget about the code, but not saying hey loudly though. Homeboy, we just got there, man. Me and him, we just got there for a couple months, but we had to go. So it was a righteous call. We did our thing. It wasn't personal. We left. We was in the hole together, man. We did our thing. We kicked it off. We was in the hole. While we were in the hole, I noticed also, man, like there was an insect inside the cell, man. I was gonna kill the insect. By the way, Sing Hey Lao D is not Lao. He was black, but everything about him is Lao. He speaks Lao fluently. His wife, his kids, Lao. He from Fresno, Lao boys. It's a Lao hood. It's an Asian hood. You know, he was the kung fu master, man. He taught me about Taoism. Like I said, there was an insect that came to the cell. I was gonna kill it. And then he said, hey, Padre, don't fucking kill the insect, dog. Why? It's an insect, man. Because in their religion, we're all equal. All living beings, we're all equal, man. He explained to me, like, how would you feel if the insect was the big guy and you were the little guy? How would you feel that if he steps on you and kills you? That was his logic, you know. And me being a Roman Catholic, it's like, born as a Roman Catholic, I'm like, nah, but humans are the highest, you know. Insects are insects, we're humans. But that's not how they see it, man. And I learned a lot from Sing Hey Lao D. And it was a trip for fun. We would listen outside the hole, because we was in the hole for like almost a year in Oklahoma. And we would hear people always suffering out loud. He would call it suffering out loud, because they would yell in the door, where's the food? If the food is not there yet during that time and everyone's hungry, starving, people would fucking suffer out loud. They would yell, where's the food? Where's the food? And we would always, me and him would laugh about it. It was a little inside joke, because everybody claimed to be killers, man. Killers and gang members and killers. And yet they're complaining about where's the fucking food and shit, as if the police would care if they're hungry or not. And they would yell also, like, they would yell, the shower's too hot, the shower's too cold, you know. It was just me and him. We were just like laughing about it, man, because people were suffering out loud and shit. And yeah, man, he was teaching me the Wu Jing Dao, the way of no form. He was teaching me a little bit of his martial arts. What can I say, man? I just ended up becoming more and more close to that guy from Lao culture. So, you know, that was my experience doing time with the Thai and the Lao homies in the prison system. And I actually got a lot more other stories about it, but for now I'm gonna cut this short. And on the next videos, I'm still gonna talk about the Hmongs, the Korean, everybody else, you know, Lao, Humian, Chinese, Japanese. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you got any questions, hit me up on the comment section or hit me up on my IG on some G shit. Say what you mean and mean what you say, because real recognize real, homeboy. Out of here.